Indian regional writers are lauded for their works in their home states, but they seldom get the national recognition and the wider constituency that they deserve. In an attempt to provide these vernacular writers and poets a national platform of repute, the New Indian Express organized the first ever Odisha Literary Festival in Bhubaneswar in October 2012.
नमस्कार, आपण समस्त को मोर हार्दिक अभिनंदन.
Over 600 people, including scores of students, reputed publishers, eminent writers such as Ruskin Bond, Salman Khurshid, Hindi filmmaker Vishal Bharadwaj, were all part of this two-day mega event.
Odia literature deserves both national and global recognition and exposure. The Odisha Literary Festival is the first step in that direction. Our sessions over the next 2 days will see Odisha's most eminent writers coming forward to share their work and views with the large audiences here. We have planned the session in such a way that puts together the best regional authors and poets with eminent Indian writers in English to discuss issues relating to contemporary literature and culture.
The event was inaugurated by Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik, who spoke on the state's literary legacy for the first time on a public platform.
Most of our literary festivals promote writing in English, but Indian literature is certainly not confined to Indian writers in English, which is read and appreciated only by English-reading people. Against this background, the effort of the New Indian Express in organizing this festival is extremely laudable.
In the beginning of literature, there was myth.
We Indians have a genius for reinventing and localizing our myths again and again and again.
आज दुनिया के उपलब्ध साहित्य में सबसे पुराना यदि साहित्य है तो उसको नाम दिया जाता है वैदिक साहित्य.
And as for my own books, well, there are now about 120 of them in print. Because I've been writing for 60 years or more.
We shouldn't get distracted by periodic successes of the alternative, because if we don't keep hold tight to our idea of India, then God knows what will happen.
This is like a scientific craft, and if you know that, it's easier because it's still, it's the business of emotions.
The subtitle of the book is a personal journey, so it's as much about me as it's about my generation.
The second edition of the Odisha Literary Festival was held in October 2013, the basic objective remaining the same, to give impetus to regional Indian literature. This two-day festival was inaugurated by Union HRD Minister Shashi Tharoor.
Synonym for Indian was Mughaliya. And that is one of the great myths. I think there are 3 myths about Indian food which needs to be demolished. Yeah. One is the myth of the Mughaliya, other is the curse of the curry, and the third of the tyranny of the tandoor.
As we're urbanizing more, as our society is changing more, women are finding that they have to sort of manage more for themselves. So they want food that's easy to cook, that's quick to cook. And so the cookbook market, I think, is growing. I think it still has a long way to go, but it's getting there.
I run 2 companies, both of them usually successful in the literary and commercial space. And to be honest, there are only 2 kinds of books. There's either a successful book or there's an unsuccessful book.
The reality is that most politicians don't read.
You take the myth and you take history and put them together and you get mystery. And that mystery is then what carries the story forward.
When you are reading a story, you are not only enjoying the plot, you are trying to discover the future.
A short story is also a story, and I think that is what we need to concentrate on.
If literature continues today, it is because it is an extension of one ordinary common thing, that in our process of discovering humanity, we reinvent ourselves for each other.
I consider the act of reading one of the most beautiful and only private things we have left in life, and that's why I love being a writer.
When I wrote this novel, which got excellent reviews outside India, in the Times Literary Review and these kind of things, it looked like a dream debut. When I came back to India, all the papers just said, she is a pornographist.
I can emphatically say, yes, Women writing is different but not a separate entity.
The first mistake that we commit is that we take poetry to be a product. This is a point I would like to emphatically make, because poetry is not a product, a poem is a product.
As long as human races are going to suffer or enjoy a sense of mystery and a sense of wonder, there will be place for poetry.
For the last 2 days, we have been discussing literature here in a state which is known for its cultural heritage, its literary richness, and we thought it would be appropriate for us to conclude this function with your presence.
Literature has an impeccable knack to reflect the trends of society and sensitize people on issues. I am glad that this festival covers new, emerging and unconventional fields. Last year, yoga literature, film script writing and other such areas were covered. This year there was a session on food writing. I hope more such areas like gardening, farming, advertising, professional writings and the likes will be covered in the future. Thank you very much.